Hey guys, and welcome to What If Soul. I'm your host, Broken Soul, and it's time for a new episode of What If the Leaf Village Knew About Naruto's Parents. But before we get started, guys, please like, comment, and subscribe. Let's try and reach our goal of hitting 1,000 subs before the end of the year. So, where we last left off, Naruto and the gang actually got through with the Land of Waves, where Zabuza and Kahaku were able to get away, not necessarily scot-free, but they at least survived. They also were able to save the Land of Waves, have the Great Naruto Bridge fixed, and now they're back in the village, where we can start the story right now. So Naruto and them just got through the gates of the Leaf Village. As soon as they get through, Kakashi looks at his team and goes, "Alright team, time to head for the Hokage Tower. We need to brief the Hokage on what's going on." Naruto is whining about wanting to go back home and get some sleep, but Kakashi reminds him this is what a team has to do at the end of every mission. You want to be able to protect the people you care about and become the Hokage? It's something you need to do. Naruto reluctantly goes with his sensei, agreeing that he wants to be Hokage, it has to be done. At the Hokage Tower, after Kakashi gives a detailed briefing of what happened at the Land of Waves, Hiruzen sighs deeply going, "Well, while I cannot condone you allowing for 2 S-rank missing to escape, I also cannot ignore that 3 genin were able to complete an A-rank mission and against, again, S-rank missing nin, one of them being Zabuza Momochi of the 7 Swordsmen of the Mist. As far as I can tell, this mission was a success. Each of you students will be compensated accordingly for your mission." Team 7 then walk out of the Hokage office with a smile on their face. But before Kakashi leaves, Hiruzen actually stops him going, "Kakashi, hang on a minute." Kakashi turning around going, "Yes, Lord Third, what is it?" Hiruzen actually puffing on his pipe, asking him, "Kakashi, let me ask you something. How are your students really? As a teacher, tell me, how far do you think that your team has progressed since you first became their sensei?" Kakashi, taking a minute to think, actually says, "Well, they've actually all improved quite a bit actually. Let's take Sakura for example. In terms of how smart she is, her tactics, and her jutsu, she's probably one of the best on my team. In fact, with a little bit of training, she could probably be one of the best genjutsu users I've ever seen in my life. Sasuke, he has talent, he has jutsu, he has skill. The only thing that's really holding him back is just real world experience. But because he is in the life of a shinobi, he will gain that and then some. He'll be perfectly fine." Hiruzen then getting very serious saying, "And what of Naruto?" Naruto is different. While yes, he is a splendid shinobi, he is learning, he is doing his best, and he is giving it his all. At the same time though, I'm afraid for what's going to happen with the nine-tailed fox. That's when Kakashi goes into detail saying that while in the Land of Waves, Naruto did let a little bit of the nine-tails out. Kakashi actually came to the conclusion that he believes that the nine-tailed fox is actually trying its best to claw out of Naruto and make himself free. This troubles Hiruzen, furthermore explaining saying, "Kakashi, I'm worried about these kids, Naruto especially. Sasuke is the last of the Uchiha. He watched his entire clan be slaughtered before him, and he is out for blood. It's no secret he wants revenge to kill his brother. Naruto has the demon fox inside of him. He will constantly be viewed as an outcast, at least by one person. While yes, some of the village does look out for him, there are still those in the village who see him as the enemy, as something that needs to be destroyed. As for Sakura, she's living in the shadow of the last of the Uchiha and the demon fox's vessel. All 3 of your kids are something special, Kakashi, but there's a reason why I called you into my office." "And what is that, Lord Third?" "The Chunin exams are coming up. Now Kakashi, I will not tell you how to become a sensei, nor am I even asking you to participate, but I am saying this. Whatever happens from here on out will be completely your choice. Whether or not you choose to allow them to continue on Shinobi and take the exams, or keep them as genin for as long as possible, and spare them the life of a shinobi." This actually leaves Kakashi stunned, but he doesn't show it, telling Lord Hiruzen, "You've given me a lot to think about, Lord Third, but I will give you a decision whenever the time actually comes." Lord Hiruzen nodding, going, "Very well then. Dismissed. Your team can have a week off." Kakashi saying, "Thank you, Lord Third," before making his way out of the office. It's actually from here we're going to take a couple of days and meet up with the rest of the team. Now Naruto and the others have just been taking their time, relaxing, enjoying themselves. Or at least Sakura, Naruto, and Kakashi have. Kakashi does his training, yes, and he reads, of course, his make-out tactics. Thank you, Jiraiya. Naruto spends his time at Ichiraku Ramen eating as much as he can and hanging out with his friends. Sakura spends her time just hanging out and being around the village, trying to get close to Sasuke. Sasuke, however, he feels like he could have done so much more in the Land of Waves that he is constantly training right now. He constantly pushes himself and he constantly wants to get more and more power. It's getting pretty bad. Now, one day, Kakashi actually rounds up his 3 students and has them all meeting at the training ground, or where he makes an announcement saying, "Alright team, I have a small announcement. Now you all did an amazing job at the Land of Waves. You've all made a lot of progress in the time we've been as a team. That's why I have an announcement to make. I want to enter the 3 of you in the Chunin exams." Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura are all blown away. They know what the Chunin exams are. They've been in the crowds, they've seen it, they've been able to witness some of the competitions. And they're all surprised that they're able to participate this soon. Sakura actually is surprised enough to ask, "Kakashi-sensei, do you believe we're ready?" Kakashi actually giving an eye smile going, "I believe you are all more than ready. In fact, we actually have another week before registrations for the actual exams themselves, and then another week after that before the actual exams start. In the meantime, how would you guys like to get some extra training in? I actually want to try and teach each of you one new jutsu." Side note, okay, now you guys are probably wondering, why am I having Kakashi do this with his team? Because, and I've made this clear before in the past and I want to make it clear now, I didn't like how Kakashi essentially favored Sasuke during that time of the Chunin exams. Never went anywhere near Sakura for her training, didn't really help Naruto at all besides just dumping him on Ebisu, and then again dumped again on to Jiraiya. And he spent the entire time teaching Sasuke his signature, one of his best jutsu ever, the Chidori. No. Here, I want Kakashi to actually be a real teacher and actually teach all 3 of his students. But back to the story. We're actually going to skip ahead a couple of days. So Kakashi has been teaching all 3 of his students a brand new jutsu. But before he does that, he actually wants to get a feel for their chakra natures. So he brings out each of those chakra papers. When he gives one paper to Sasuke, the paper burns into flames. His nature is fire. When he gives a paper to Sakura, it actually soaks and turns wet. Her affinity is water nature. When he gives it to Naruto, it takes some time because Naruto's chakra control isn't the best still, but when he gives it to Naruto, the paper splits in half. He's a wind nature. Based off of this, Kakashi actually tries to teach each of his students one of the best elemental techniques that he can for each of his students that he believes it will fit them each best. So for Sakura, I actually want her to learn the water bullet technique. For Naruto, I want him to learn the air bullet technique. And for Sasuke, now you guys are probably wondering, okay, you're going to teach Sasuke the Chidori then, right? No, I actually want to teach him the fire bullet technique. Now you guys are probably wondering, why the water, wind, and fire bullets? Well, to be completely honest, while each of Team 7 does have some pretty amazing techniques, they have only, or at least in the case of Sakura and Naruto, only close quarters combat. They don't have anything that in terms of wide range or distance fighting. So I figured with this, at the very basics, let's at least have them do some more long distance. Now Sasuke, he has his long range fireball, but I feel that's like not enough. It would be way too much chakra. With the fire bullet, they're a lot smaller, but they're more potent and they're a little bit more easier for him. Plus, I feel like it's something each member of Team 7 can kind of like relate to. Like, hey, like we can all use a bullet technique, which I think is kind of cool, you know? Plus, I like the bullet techniques, you know? It seems like the very basic jutsu you should know if you're gonna learn a brand new elemental technique, you know? Like, I don't know if it's an earth bullet or a lightning bullet technique, but that'd be kind of cool if you ask me. But moving on though. So Kakashi does try and teach them the best they can, but by the end of the week, before registration start, he only gets this far as teaching them the control on how to at least summon their elements. Sasuke, it's a little easier and he actually does have some fire bullets. However, the bullets dissipate before they can actually hit their target. They're better for point blank range. Naruto, like I said, he can form the air, or at least the wind nature chakra, but he can't utilize the full technique yet. He needs a lot more training. Same with Sakura. She has the technique down, but it can't do any damage. It's the equivalent of shooting a water gun at somebody. Not exactly a lot. So after that week, we're actually going to move on to when all the Chunin masters are getting together to talk about their students. Now, they're all in the Hokage tower, and the Hokage is actually saying, all right, as you all know, the Chunin exams are upon us. Each of you has a team that you want to register. Please come forth and let us know who you want to bring up. And just like in canon, I'm going to have everyone come up before. I'll sing the same thing. Team 8, Kiba Inuzuka, Shino Aburame, Hinata Hyuga. Team 10, Shikamaru Nara, Ino Yamanaka, Choji Akamichi, and then finally Team 7, Sakura Haruno, Sasuke Uchiha, and Naruto Uzumaki. Each of these 9 students from the Rookie 9 are going to participate in the Chunin exams. Now, as soon as Kakashi says Naruto Uzumaki, a lot of the other Jonins in the room are actually whispers and murmuring, going, wait, did he say Naruto Uzumaki? The Demon Brat? No, not the Demon Brat, the 4th son, the hero. There's almost gonna be like another fight. Like, it's starting to get from murmurs to almost like arguing. That's when the Hokage raises his hand going, enough. We are here to gather our students together to make them the very best among us. I will not hear any squabbling, not within this room. Actually, guys, I'm kind of going to leave a good chunk of this stuff alone, just like in canon. You know, the whole Iruka thing, not testing to see if his students are ready yet. And Kakashi, honestly, Kakashi giving that badass line of, no, Iruka should know. They are not his students anymore. Now, they are mine. Like, that just kind of sent a chill down. I've got goosebumps right now just talking about it. And of course, Guy introducing himself and his team, saying he held them back for a year so they can hone their skills. Now, we're actually going to move on to outside this room, because while this is happening, of course, Naruto and the gang are all just hanging out. Sasuke is doing his thing training, Sakura and Naruto are trying to hang out a bit, and actually, Naruto's hanging out with Konohamaru, because I forgot to mention that just like in canon, Konohamaru and Naruto are really good friends. It's actually around this time that Naruto, just like in canon, bumps into Kankuro and the two of them meet, and that whole interaction goes around the exact same way as last time. Kankuro tries to pick a fight, Tamari calms him down, and then of course Gaara just intimidates everybody with his bloodlust. So just like in canon, they all take off after Sasuke shows up. Now after that, Sasuke actually talks to Naruto for a second, saying, "Hey Naruto, let's get some training in. I really want to beat this guy." Naruto actually smiling at this, going, "Yeah, let's do that. Sakura, you want to join us?" Sakura actually getting enthusiastic, saying, "Yeah, I'd love to join you guys." All 3 of them going to the training field to train for a little bit. Konohamaru tagging along too, but he's more there just to watch and learn some of the basics from Sakura, Naruto, or Sasuke if they're willing to give them some pointers. So from here, we're actually going to move on further to where Naruto, Sakura, and Sasuke are actually making their way into the building where the Chunin exams are going to be taking place, or at least the written exam. So I'm actually going to leave this part a bit of alone because I loved the whole interaction of this whole thing. The only difference here is that Naruto might be a little bit smarter, but now you guys are probably wondering, wait a minute, Broken, you made Naruto a little bit smarter, more of an average ninja. He's no longer a complete idiot, so shouldn't he do a little better on the tests? Yeah, Shikaku did his best, but Naruto is still a bit of an idiot, so he still does everything he does in the original show of, you know, not answering a single question, except for the final question where he says, I don't care how I become a Genin the rest of my life, I'm still going to become a Hokage, you know, all the different stuff, right? And of course, him and Team 7 pass, the whole cheating thing goes on, and that kind of stuff. You know, Anko then bursting in, which, by the way, who else, like, just fell in love with Anko and Ibiki? Because Ibiki was, like, head of the interrogation corps, which, honestly, that alone is so awesome and so cool. Like, the Leaf has an interrogation corps. Like, that's just pretty cool if you ask me. And then Anko, okay, yeah, well, let's face it, I got a little crush on Anko, but still... I might just take that out, or I might leave it in. Who knows? We'll see what happens. We're actually going to move on a little bit further past this toward the Force of Death. Now, at the Force of Death, Anko does her usual spiel of explaining the Heaven and Earth scrolls, how each team gets one or the other, and they have to hunt down the other team and get that scroll. Everything's going to stay the same, you know, everyone entering into the building, them having a few hours to get there, even Gaara breaking the record and making his way straight for the tower and being the first one there. Now, it's actually here where Naruto, Sakura, and Sasuke stop for a second and they have their first interaction with Orochimaru. So, with this one, just like in canon, Orochimaru wants to go after Sasuke for the Sharingan. However, at the same time, while I don't want to say Orochimaru holds a grudge against Minato for, I guess, getting the title of Hokage before he did, I actually want to say that Orochimaru wants to know about the nine-tailed fox, but because he knows he can't deal with the fox until he takes a Sharingan eye, he does still want to mark at least Naruto and Sasuke to make sure that he has both of them under his thumb. Because I feel like Orochimaru would do that. Why he would focus on just Sasuke, I honestly don't know. But again, I feel like if it were me, I would keep an eye on both the two of them and dispose of Sakura. Again, not because I don't like Sakura, but because, again, in Orochimaru's eyes, the Uchiha and the Uzumaki are the real prizes, where Sakura is just some civilian ninja. So she's not exactly worth, I guess, hunting, him being a snake and all that different stuff. But that's a different thing altogether. Now, I know it's not going to be a lot to really add to this fight, but I feel like here, at least Sakura and Naruto would put up more of a fight against Orochimaru than what they did in canon. I know for the very fact, because, again, Naruto got a little more training from some of the other ninja in the village, so he's a little bit stronger, a little more skill-based. So he'll be able to at least hold his own a little bit better in this fight than what he did in canon. Sakura, again, because she got more training from Kakashi, she'll put up a lot more of a fight against Orochimaru than what she did in canon. And Sasuke, now, because he is the exact same way as when canon, it's just here, because he sees that Naruto's getting a little bit more stronger and a little bit more love from some of the villagers, it takes Sasuke down a much darker path, having him train that much harder, that much more fiercely, to where he's not obsessed, but he gets angrier and stepping closer to darkness a little bit faster. He does actually get a lot stronger than what he was in canon. So all three of them put a much better fight up against Orochimaru, but let's face it, it's Orochimaru. He still marks Sasuke and he marks Naruto. Now here, I'm going to give a small little shout out, a little nod to one of my favorite What If YouTubers, Plus Ultraman. Now, this is something he did in his scenario, but when Orochimaru tries to mark Naruto, and I cannot argue with this because this makes too much sense. So, when Orochimaru marks Naruto with the curse mark, we actually transport into Naruto's subconscious. We actually see Orochimaru standing in that cage with Naruto. However, Naruto is knocked out. Because again, it's the part of the story where he gets knocked out along with Sasuke after the fight with Orochimaru. Kurama, the nine-tailed fox, he looks down on the snake and he says in the most menacing tone ever, if I can do a voice changer I will, but he looks down on him and he says, "I don't like snakes. This is my territory. You're not welcome." And he burns away Naruto's curse mark. However, he does still get that secondary seal placed upon his stomach to dampen or to lock down Naruto's chakra even further than what it already is. We're actually going to move on a little bit further ahead to where Team Dosu actually tries to ambush Sakura while she's taking care of Naruto and Sasuke. And again, I'm going to leave a lot of this here the same, because what happened with Rock Lee trying to fight these guys, it was, again, just so awe-inspiring. The whole Rock Lee fighting off Team Dosu, Team 10 coming to the rescue to back them up, Neji and Tenten showing up too to help out Lee, the whole Sakura cutting her hair thing, the whole thing was just so iconic in that show. I am not touching it. I'm leaving it the exact same way. However, I will give Sakura this. Not only does she cut her own hair, she actually gets a few licks in on Dosu as well as Ken, giving her a little bit of some extra stuff. I feel like she deserves a little bit. Now, when Sasuke wakes up, he does more than just break Zaku's arms. He breaks them, yeah, but he makes it to where no matter what, he will never use those arms again, or at least one of those arms. And while Sakura does calm him down, it takes a lot more to bring him down and to keep that, that evil purple chakra in control. And again, I'm leaving a lot of this stuff the same as usual in the normal canon. It all stays the same. Actually moving outside of the Force of Death, and everything's gonna stay in canon as normal. Anko getting the whole hey, Orochimaru's in the thing, her confronting Orochimaru, that kind of stuff, her trying and failing to essentially take him down and kill him, and that's all gonna stay the exact same. We're actually gonna move forward to the preliminary rounds, because again, a lot of what happened in canon will stay the exact same. Not really a lot's gonna change from this point on. The only difference here is that Naruto, Sakura, and Sasuke are all just stronger than they were in canon. In fact, let's actually say that they get to the tower roughly, let's say, a full day before than what they did in canon. They're gonna be there for a while, and it's gonna still be the exact same stuff. Team Dosu, Team 8, Team 10, Team 7, and Kabuto's team. I believe that's everybody there. Oh, the Sand Siblings as well. That's right. Now, what I'm going to do here, I actually want to leave all the fights exactly how they were in canon, you know? However, here, when Sasuke actually gets in his fight with his opponent, he actually does a lot more than just the Lion's Barrage because he roasts this guy. And I mean, like, he uses everything he's got in his arsenal and finishes him off with a Fireball technique, not the Lion's Barrage. Now, the next few battles are actually going to kind of go by pretty much the exact same. For example, Kankuro's battle, the exact same. Tamari's battle, same thing with Tenten, you know, breaking her back and all different stuff, which, by the way, every time I see that episode, it still hurts my back. Now, a few changes here are actually going to be Shino versus Zaku. Now here, because Zaku only has the use of one arm because Sasuke broke the other one well beyond its functional use, the fight actually goes a lot quicker for Shino than what it did in canon. That's going to change there. Now for Sakura and Ino, that fight's going to stay the exact same as well, the two getting a double knockout. Because I feel like with Sakura, though yes, she has fully bloomed into a full Konoichi, I still feel like her and Ino would still come to blows. Because again, like I said, she may be a little bit stronger, but her techniques and her experience are still not good enough to, you know, fully win her the fight. It might do some heavier blows to Ino, but again, it won't win her the fight. Sorry, Sakura. I'm doing my best, but there's just some things I don't want to BS, you know? I want to try and keep it a little bit more grounded. Try. Moving on. Now when we get to Naruto versus Kiba, the fight actually goes a lot smoother for Naruto. And because Naruto has a little bit better training from everybody in the village, he actually does a lot better against Kiba. In fact, let's say that where Naruto is, I'm going to say on a scale, I'm going to do a 1 to 10 scale. I have no idea how I'm going to scale these guys yet. I still got to figure that out. But on a scale of 1 to 10, let's put Naruto for where he is right now at like a 5. Kiba, he's at like a 3 in the original series. Now, that's not going to, I'm not trying to spit on Kiba. Trust me. I think he had the potential to do so much more. However, he's still not going to really do his best against Naruto. Again, both characters are stronger than what they were in canon, but Naruto has gone through so much more training and gone through so much more as a ninja. I feel like that kind of pushes beyond what Kiba could do currently. Because, again, Naruto went through an A-rank mission against a missing nin from the Hidden Mist. So, and of course, you know, Dosu versus Choji stays the exact same. And Lee and Gaara, oh no, that I am leaving alone. That is going to stay the exact same. That still goes down as one of the best anime fights in all of anime history. I don't care what anyone says, I stand by that. So with Hinata versus Neji, that's actually going to stay the exact same as well. Like everything, like Neji going a little bit too far overboard, almost killing Hinata, the whole, like, you know, Naruto encouraging Hinata, hey, don't stop this fight, keep going. That's going to stay the exact same, of course. Now with that, all the fights are done, and we're actually going to move on to the 1 month period before the tournament. Now for this 1 month, again, I want Kakashi to be able to train Naruto, Sakura, and Sasuke to the best of his abilities to where each one of them can become a much stronger ninja than what they were in canon, which they already are, but I want to be a much better teacher than what it was in canon. That being said though, I feel like Kakashi actually does want to teach the Chidori to Sasuke, as well as refine his fire bullet technique. Now, as for Naruto and Sakura, that's going to be a little more tricky. Actually, Kakashi is actually going to call in a favor from Ebisu. Now, I know I said I didn't want him to have to pawn somebody off on Ebisu, but here's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to make Ebisu a little bit more affinited toward the water chakra nature, just so he can help out Sakura. Ebisu is actually going to work with Sakura for this month, but Kakashi at the same time has no idea what he can train Naruto with when it comes to the wind style. So, Kakashi actually takes a full day with Sasuke, and Ebisu takes a full day with Sakura. Naruto, not really wanting to kind of spend the day with Sasuke, you know, him being him, decides to try and like tag along with Ebisu's training with Sakura to see exactly what happens with them. See how her training is going. Sakura's a little bit annoyed, but she enjoys the company at the very least. That way it's not just her and him. In fact, Ebisu actually takes the two of them to that same hot spring so he can teach Sakura, or at least see what she knows about water walking. While there, they still have the same interaction with Jiraiya. Now Jiraiya, instead of knocking out Ebisu, he actually just throws him away. Sakura actually running after him saying, "No, my teacher!" And I feel like it'd be like a really funny thing. Again, just Jiraiya on the Toad throwing Ebisu clear across the village, and Sakura just running after him. Now Naruto, looking over at Jiraiya, actually tries to scold him for like, hey man, what the hell? Why'd you do that with her teacher, man? Like, what did she do? Like, come on, man, you're being a damn perv. Like, what's going on with that? The initial interaction with Jiraiya and Naruto is going to stay the exact same, because Jiraiya, side note guys, is one of my favorite characters in the entirety of the show, and I'm making him a bit of a big part of this what if. Mainly, again, in the first part, I made him the reason why everyone knows that Naruto is Minato's son, you know? Because I feel like he could have done a little bit better as a godfather to Naruto. And again, he has his spy network. He can't be in the village the whole time taking care of Naruto. So I feel like if he'd have done that and exposed the fact like, hey, this is his son, at least to the villagers and the citizens there, some of the citizens should at least, like, you know, step up a little bit to help him out, you know? And I feel like that enough is, you know, to help him out some as a godfather. Here, now that Jiraiya is actually looking at him, thinks to himself, my God, I can't believe how much Naruto looks just like his father. It's crazy. He has the same spiky hair as his father, yet the same gentle eyes and smile as his mother. It's enough to make Jiraiya almost start to tear up, or how much he looks just like his parents. But Jiraiya, of course, keeping the facade up, says, alright then fine, if you want, I'll train you, kid. Then of course that kind of goes on. He teaches him, of course, the summoning contract, and Naruto surprisingly picks it up pretty well, because again, Naruto's chakra control is still not the best, but it's better than what it was in canon, thanks to Inuichi, Shikaku, and Choza. So thank you for that on helping Naruto become a much better, more rounded shinobi. Now, Jiraiya, because he actually notices, again, same stuff in canon, he notices the 8-prong seal, he actually dissolves it himself, allowing Naruto to have much more, you know, access to his chakra, therefore a lot more control over his chakra. Now, again, because Naruto is better at chakra control, he is able to master summoning a lot quicker than what he did in canon. So much so, he actually helps Naruto refine all of his other techniques, especially his air bullet technique, which he needs done desperately. He can form the, like I said, he can form the wind nature chakra, but he just can't produce the jutsu. Jiraiya actually explained to Naruto that while wind affinities are exceptionally rare in the ninja world, Jiraiya does know a few things he can probably teach Naruto. However, because they only have less than a month to work on everything, because they did spend a couple of days working on summoning as well as everything else, that all I can teach you is just how to refine and better use or master your air bullet technique. And that's probably the best I can teach you. Naruto going, that'll be perfectly fine. So long as I can have a jutsu that can help me against Sasuke, I'll do it. Jiraiya getting a bit of a mischievous grin going, good. Oh, and in case you guys are wondering, yes, it's the exact same thing before with the summoning. Throwing him into that chasm, summoning Gamabunta, and all different stuff. However, Naruto masters the summoning to a much more, I guess you could say, refined degree. Instead of summoning a gigantic toad like Gamabunta, or a super tiny toad like Gamakichi, he'll summon a more medium-sized toad, like Gamma or something like that, you know? Just the same kind of toad that Jiraiya can. In fact, that's who they try to summon the entire time, just Gamma. As soon as they master getting him to the battlefield, that's when Jiraiya tries to work more on collaborative movements with him. In fact, one movement I want to try and do is actually this, where when you know how Gamma has those armored cufflinks, like whenever he blocks Samehara in that one episode? Okay, sort of like that, Gamma can actually work on the up close combat stuff against enemies, because he does have the experience and the strength to be able to do that, while Naruto actually focuses on the backfield, shooting out air bullets in the back end. Little things like that. As well as, and here's where I'm actually going to bring up what Kakashi taught him in the Land of Waves. How when Naruto, with his shadow clones, would surround the enemy to try and attack them all at once, I did that for a reason. Now, what that reason is, I'm actually going to have to explain that later on, because I'm actually going to move on to what's happening with Sasuke and with Sakura. Now with Sakura, she of course masters every technique that Ebisu throws at her, almost within record time. Not only does she know the Shadow Clone, but I'm also going to give her the Water Clone technique and a technique I call the Water Blade. it's essentially just her waterbending, a blade of water straight at the enemy. I'm also going to have her learn a few basic genjutsu, because again, as it was stated in the early stages of the first Naruto part, she has a strong affinity for genjutsu. It's not a lot, but it's a few little things, you know? She'll throw dust in the air and that's what activates it, and, you know, put her in the, you know, genjutsu world and stuff like that. Little things here and there. But she masters all different stuff. She masters tree walking, water walking, her taijutsu improves, her ninjutsu improves, her genjutsu is off the charts, you know, at least by where she was in canon, and she's doing fantastic. In fact, by the time the end of the month is over, she's a pretty well-rounded, you know, ninja. Now, yes, she didn't exactly pass the exam, but Kakashi's not going to leave her high and dry. She still has to improve and get better as a shinobi, otherwise you are dead. Now, as for Sasuke, he ends up doing exactly what he did in canon. However, because he's spending time focusing on both his fire bullet as well as his Chidori, his Chidori is no longer going to be as... It still has the strength and potency, however, instead of doing 2 times a day, he can only do it once a day. So it's his only 1-day trump card. So I'm not exactly nerfing him, it's more like I gave him an extra jutsu to have to master, so his time to try and master the Chidori has been kind of cut. I know you don't like it, but it was either I make it weaker and he uses it more, or he doesn't use it as much, but it's a lot more powerful, or just as potent. So it's a give and take. I'm sorry, guys. So at this point, we're actually going to move on to the actual day of the tournament. Sakura is actually in the stands already waiting for Naruto and Sasuke to show up. Sasuke is still late as always, and Naruto is actually walking in the stadium. So, small flashback. Jiraiya actually takes the time to not only train Naruto, but to get to know him, to explain to him who he is and what he is to Naruto. He's his godfather, he's this and he's that. Naruto at first doesn't exactly understand, or he denies it, or he gets upset, as he should. But Jiraiya does explain to him what he was doing and why he was gone, and he actually does apologize to him for it. Naruto, he gets upset, saying that you should have been there for me, you should have been my father, you should have been my grandfather, you should have been something to me. Instead, I was essentially by myself. Yes, I had some of the other villagers for me. Yes, they all watched my back, but where were you? Jiraiya, he doesn't break down, but he does tear up as he does actually lower his head and he does apologize to Naruto. He says that no excuse I give can excuse you being alone for as long as you were, but I had to leave for your safety. I had to make sure that your father's enemies would not come to the village. I had to make sure that the heat was fully off of you. That's why I spread the rumor that you were your father's son to the village. I had my spy network work against a different rumor against you. Naruto saying, what rumor? Jiraiya saying, I can't say too much, but just know that had I not said that you were the 4th son, the knowledge of you just being the demon fox would have been more than enough to shun you as an outcast from everybody. At least me telling the village that you were who you were, you could at least make some friends. Some of the village elders and maybe even a few of the Shinobi Council would back you up and help you out. Naruto, he is still upset, but he does understand that he did what he did. And he does know that, hey, at least some of the village council did help me out. More specifically, again, the Inoshikacho trio of Shukaku, Inochi, and Choza. They were there for him as parental figures. Naruto is still mad at Jiraiya, but he at least says that I'm mad at you. It's going to be hard to, but I will forgive you at some point. Jiraiya actually stands up, putting a hand on Naruto's shoulder and says, that's all I can ask for. Thank you. Naruto says, well, just hang on. I said I could forgive you, but not yet. Let's see what the tournament tells us. Jiraiya actually getting a smile on his face going, how about this? If you win the tournament, or at the very least if you get the top 3, let's go out for ice cream. Sound good? Naruto getting a smile on his face going, yeah, sounds good. And that actually, guys, is where I'm going to leave it for now. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. Wait, you're leaving me here off on the tournament? What's going on? Like, why aren't you going to go through the full thing? Well, a few reasons. One, I feel like I went through a very, very long-winded explanation to get us to here. So I feel like the video it's too long already. Another reason is, just like in my Pokemon videos, I want this tournament to be its own episode. so people can, enjoy it a little bit more better than just hearing me ramble on for 30-40 minutes and then, I breeze through a tournament. It's just that the Chunin exams is one of my favorite arcs in all of Naruto, and I honestly don't feel like I could have done a better job writing it than what the actual writers did for it. At least, I made a few tweaks here and there, but it's nothing too bad. Just, again, a few little tweaks. So, let me know what you guys think. Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura made it through the Chunin exams. Sakura and Naruto actually got some real good training in on this one. And now, hey, Naruto got to actually meet Jiraiya and got to know him for a little bit. And got some pretty good training in. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. So, with that being said, and now for my favorite section of all my videos, question of the video, where you guys send me in questions and I do my best to answer it the best way I can. Now for this one, At the Ripper 19 asks, do the Hyugas see Naruto in a better light than canon now that they know he's Minato's son? It's to see how this may affect the canon relationship with Hinata. So for this question, Ripper, I want to say that the Hyugas see Naruto generally in a better light than just the Demon Fox, but they still see him as just some random ass kid because, again, he is not a Hyuga and they still have their whole we're the pure ones, we're the, So while they are grateful to Naruto for helping Hinata with those bullies, it's like one good deed does not undo how we see you just being another citizen. If you were a Hyuga, maybe we can give you some praise, but it's just like nah man, you did a good job. Thank you, appreciate that. Here's a cookie, As for Hiyashi though, he actually sees it as a little bit more because as head of the clan, again, Naruto, quote unquote, saved the next clan head from those bullies. So Naruto does have his respect in that regard. As a father, he is fully grateful to Naruto for what he did. Because again, as a father, Naruto protected his daughter. In fact, I wouldn't say he likes him, but again, he has more respect for him than he's willing to show. He is still the stoic, leader of the Hyuga clan. But actually, as for Hinata's relationship with Naruto, they are friends, they hang out. Hinata obviously has the crush on Naruto as always, but Naruto just sees Hinata as, instead of the weirdo in the background, it's like, oh, that's just my friend Hinata. She's just shy. That's all it is. Mostly around me. But again, he's still an idiot. He's 12. I mean, what are you going to do? But yeah, at the Ripper 19, I hope I answered your question the best I can. Guys, if you have any more questions, please let me know. I love interacting with my fan base, my community. I want us to be the absolute best community on YouTube, which honestly I kind of feel like I'm already part of, because I have gotten nothing but just so much positivity from you guys and I'm probably going to reveal a little too much here, but it gets me choked up knowing that you guys all care about what I do, and I'm getting choked up now, so I'm going to stop this now before I start bawling. But anyway, with that being said, guys, this is Broken Soul saying, may y'all souls be ever bright. I love you guys. Bye.